You know, so just being able to look at something that you know was hard, and at the end of the day, it should be nothing from up from here. My name is Migdalys Santiago, and I am in sterile processing program. So I was scrolling through Facebook and I saw an ad on Facebook for PTTI. It's about an 8-month course. I was already doing my research, and I had found out that this school was basically the only school in Philadelphia that had the actual instrumentation, so you can actually have a hands-on experience. I filled out a form, they emailed me, they actually set up a walkthrough tour with Mr. Ralph, and I had the walkthrough tour, and then from there I proceeded with my courses. I didn't have a lot of family support, so I was basically on my own doing this, and at the same time attending PTTI, I went through about 4 different instructors before I actually found an instructor where I felt as though articulated and tried different ways so you can actually understand the information that you have to retain for your ISHM testing. I mean, I would say it wasn't bad. It was a lot of good because, of course, you get to meet the new people. The instructors give you their real-time experience in these hospitals. So between the real-time and what you're learning in the book, it helps you put 2 and 2 together for you to retain the information. So with my first instructor, this was during COVID. We had about the first 2 months in Zoom class. So we attended classes at a certain time, did our courses. It was excellent. My first instructor was Miss Tyra. She was very good at articulating, making you understand it. If you didn't understand it, she found ways so you could either give yourself hints, like everyone has their own hints for certain things, like how you can relate certain tools to maybe an old cartoon from back in the day, stuff like that. Then our second instructor, this was Mr. Brown. He actually, again, very good. He had a military background, so he was a little harder on students that he felt as though you know the information, you're just scared to say it. And then, of course, he wound up getting his RN certification back, so he went to do that, which, best wishes, we missed you. Overall, my last instructor, no problems. I was able to catch up on information that I needed to. Again, this is a course that is very to the book. So if you're not a person that loves to read or are a person that has a hard time understanding, you know, the information that you need to retain, the school does have help that you can, you know, if you need someone to talk to, if you know, maybe the instructors ain't cutting it and you need to speak to the program director. Program director is excellent. I love her. I'm going to miss her because, of course, I went for my ISHM and I passed my certification. So I only come in on lab days, which is, of course, Wednesdays. That was another thing with lab. With lab, you get your hand-on experience with sterilization. You get your hand-on experience in pill packing, you know, the importance of the whole anatomy and biology, and you know, the reason why we do what we do. It's the day where you kind of get to see what you were talking about the week before or in the beginning of the week, and you get to put it together. And then with how some instructors do it, you know, some instructors play games, other instructors like to play word Jeopardy. You know, there's certain apps that you can download on your phone that you don't really even need to be in class, but we decide to do it together in class, because when you have the support of your classmates, especially a classmate that you know, let's say I'm having a hard time in a certain chapter, but they have it down packed, and you're like, hey, well, I'm having a hard time, can you like one-on-one in me and I'll teach you what I know? So those were my favorite days. I mean, you get close with your classmates and you create a bond, and you'll miss them at the end of the day. I like to call this the undercover heroes, because we're actually people that never are able to be seen, because our department is always considered and located in either the basement of a hospital. So with you know, the OR's instrumentation and everything, you know, at the end of the day, it comes down to, it can be your grandmom, it can be your brother, sister getting surgery. At the end of the day, you want those instrumentations to be A1. So that was my experience. I don't have a dad in my life, so my mom was basically the only one pushing me to, like, you know, you can do it. But then of course she's getting older, so there's certain days where it's just like, oh my god, how much longer? Like, so it's between that and then with basically just being a single mom and, you know, still having to balance your life and, you know, doing everything basically for a 5-year-old. So it's hard between balancing that, trying to find time to read, and then of course work, because you still have to pay bills at the end of the day.
How would...
Trust me, it was an emotional wreck. But I got it done. It's not this, I would say, some things are not built for the weak. A lot of people deal with certain situations differently, and I've always been the person that no matter what I'm going through, I come in and I have a smile on my face and I just keep it moving.
That's what's up.
My proudest accomplishment was, as a mom, my baby, but as a professional, achieving my certification. I got my certification, it was last Tuesday. I got my certification in the mail. You know, so just being able to look at something that you know was hard, and at the end of the day, it should be nothing from up from here. My future is looking like I'm going to be catching flights. I can't wait to get my new car. You know, just building myself and hopefully going on to the next certification, because you know, achieving your CRCST is not the only certification that you can achieve in this field. You can also go for your CER, CIS, or your CHL. So of course I look forward to regaining my next 3 certifications. So I would like to thank a couple of people. Miss Margaret, the program director, she is a close mentor of mine now, who I consider like an aunt. But because, you know, there was days where she was like, you know, you can do it, don't look at all the negative, look at the positive at the end of the day. I would like to thank Mr. Brown, Miss Sharon, Mr. Steven, Mr. Marks, Miss Tyra. You guys did your thing, and I love you guys for that. So to students coming in, I would say whatever you set your mind on, if this is something that you can do, you know, or you want to do, set your mind to it, get it done. At the end of the day, everyone cries, so there's going to be days where you want to pull your hair out, but at the end of the day, you know, if you need a break, call one of your classmates up, call your instructor up, email them, because there's no reason why you can't get a hold of anybody. There's always someone you can get a hold of. If you're having trouble, ask for help. People don't ask for help these days because they're either ashamed or because they're too in their mind state of, you know, I don't want to ask for help because it's something, you know, not everyone gets it, or people opinionating. At the end of the day, people are always going to have their opinions no matter what you do. You can have a nice car and they're going to say something negative about it. You get a new house, they're envious of it. So at the end of the day, they're always going to have something to say. So if you keep your focus on what you want to do, you can achieve anything. I am a PTTI graduate